How do I reboot a relationship to start talking about some of these things that we might have touched on 18 months ago? What do I do with those folks that had a pulse 18 months ago when I started and I took them on? And I mean, they're not bad clients, but they're not the, ideal person that I want to work with for the next 30 years.
Danny, those are great questions. The current client question comes up all the time. Like, how do I convert existing clients? In fact, Kitsis and I just did a full episode on converting existing clients to whatever the new model is that you're focused on. I'll give you one quick phrase that was massively helpful to me. And let's set this up first. So you've got an existing set of clients. You may not have, maybe you did one transaction with them. In many cases, like some of you may be coming from an insurance background, like maybe you helped them buy some life insurance or property insurance or casualty insurance, like something like that. It was just a transaction. And now you're trying to expand the business to be more like a holistic advisor / planner. Or maybe you've been all investment based. So the first thing you have to do, I think, is relieve yourself of sometimes there's a little bit of like awkward shame that you're like, oh, I should have done that. I should have known that. I should have been that way back then. So the first step is to sort of get rid of that mindset and just realize we use a California word here, self-compassion. That's a joke if anybody's in California. So give yourself a little bit like of space to go like, look, I did, if it's insurance, I helped them solve that problem then. I wasn't thinking this way now. So let go of the shame or blame. I mean, if you did, obviously I'm assuming we didn't do anything wrong. If we did something wrong, well, then that's a whole nother subject. So once we've let go of that, here's the way I handled that. I would handle this. This phrase was super helpful to me. So you don't have to do it all at once. Like you don't have to announce, we're changing the way we do things. We're now going to be a holistic wealth planner. Like people don't believe that stuff anyway. You're really not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say like, trust me, I'm going to talk to you about my goals, because those words have all been ruined by the industry. So the first person who says, trust me, is the person that loses. One of my biggest disappointments in life was when I left a company and I went to work for myself and I could call myself a fiduciary. And one of my biggest disappointments was nobody seemed to care, right? Because it's been ruined. So like, first of all, they don't even know. Second of all, they've always assumed you were putting they should care. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying, but they don't. So nobody cares. Nobody cares about your compass. Nobody cares about the couple holding hands on the beach or the sailboat in your brochure. Like all of those things have been ruined by the industry. So here's what can you do? Next time you have a meeting with a client, do what you normally did. So, right, if it's an investment-centric client, you do the portfolio, the performance review, do the performance review. And just save 20 minutes at the end of the meeting for this new set of questions you're going to be asking. Like your new first meeting questions, whatever those are for you, just save time at the end of the agenda. If any of you have legacy businesses where you may have done business in the past, those people are nobody else is calling them right now because everybody in the industry is scared to call anybody. So I think the best marketing you could do right now is thinking about expanding existing client relationships to be more helpful, more comprehensive, because there's huge opportunities and people are scared to death. They don't know what to do. And the only way they're going to get any help is from a real financial advisor showing up and saying, hey, how can I help? So that call would be like, hey, 3 years ago, I helped you buy that life insurance. I know we haven't talked since then, but just wanted to check in. I was going through my files. This is something I used to say all the time because it was true. I was reviewing some emails. I was going through my files and your name came up. From that conversation we had a couple years ago, and just thought I'd check in with you, see if we should chat, right? And then if they come in, you do the normal insurance review. Hey, we did this thing. And then you go right into what we just talked about.